What's going on, guys? It's Vic, and today we are going to look at Tesla and Elon Musk selling their 75% of their Bitcoin on their balance sheet for about $936 million. Basically, they did this because they really needed to make revenue numbers and keep up their balance sheet so they wouldn't miss expectations or have a red quarter. Because we all know if they missed their earnings expectations or at a red quarter, that would be very, very bad for their stock price. We can see right here is this breaking news from Tesla that they revealed that they sold 75% of their Bitcoin worth almost $1 billion. So this is actually really good for Bitcoin because it shows just how liquid the market is, because Tesla sold $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and the price didn't really do much. We're still at 23.2. I think it's above where it was. I mean, slightly back $100 or something, but it's basically flat from when this announcement came out that Tesla sold their Bitcoin. And then this is already kind of happening. So it's not affecting the price, it's not collapsing the price, and it's good for Bitcoin. It's good to show corporations that they can put their money into this asset and not be scared that they're not going to be able to pull the money back out, because it's extremely liquid, 24/7, 365 market. You are not going to plunge the market down unless you're selling, you know, tens of billions of dollars of Bitcoin at once, maybe. But it's a very liquid market, and this is good to prove to other companies that they can use Bitcoin. This right here, this is kind of funny tweet. Buy high, sell low. Tesla is showing us how it's done. They're just like us, just like everybody else. Buy high, sell low. But this Tesla had no choice but to sell, or else they end up in a red last quarter. Almost everyone that sold this dip had no choice but to sell, and none of the reasons had anything to do with Bitcoin fundamentals. I'd say we're on the way back up and decoupling soon. So, great to say all this, but it is true that the vast, vast majority of people who were selling Bitcoin were forced sellers. They didn't want to sell their Bitcoin. They weren't out here really wanting to sell it and on this dip and get rid of their Bitcoin. It was people who were leverage trading and highly over leveraged. They got wiped out, forced to sell, liquidations. Tesla forced to sell, had to make earnings. So it's not a lot of money that's being sold, that is people wanting to sell. And the fundamentals of Bitcoin are still going up. The adoption still going up throughout the world. Hash rate still doing great. So everything about Bitcoin fundamentally is still doing good, even if the price is falling. And this is where you get big kind of downturns where maybe the price is down so low and it's not in line with the fundamentals, and that's a good value play. And even more about Tesla, how much it really doesn't matter that this is going on. It's literally nothing. And this is from Will Clemente talking about it, saying Tesla's already sold off their inventory, appears to have mainly done so to maintain positive cash flow for non-Bitcoin centric reasons, for their balance sheet, for their earnings, for their stock, and it still has 25% of their Bitcoin. Then maybe I'm coping, but it seems like a nothing burger. It really does seem like not much is going on. Tesla didn't sell everything. They sold what they had to make sure they had positive cash flow. They still have 25%. And, down the line, maybe they buy more Bitcoin. Maybe when they have better cash flow and interest rates fall again, because the Fed has to pivot because everything is diving into a recession. And if they keep hiking into a recession, we can get a depression. And but if they make money dirt cheap again, maybe Tesla comes back in and buys Bitcoin again, and that brings a lot more other companies, because, like I said, it already proved Bitcoin can work. You can buy and sell Bitcoin all day long, every single day, and you can have a liquid asset where if you needed the money, you can pull it out. Almost $1 billion pulled out, no problem. So other companies and big companies like Apple, Google, these trillion-dollar companies are going to look at this because they need to have a highly liquid market that if they need the money, they can get it without plunging the price of whatever they have in. It is a good thing for Bitcoin and Tesla. We can look at their earnings to just see just how close it was for their revenue and stuff. So EPS was kind of good, and this could have got bolstered by their sale of their Bitcoin, but their revenue, 16.9 billion for estimated, was 16.88 billion. So very barely, narrowly beat that revenue. And it looks like maybe they sold a lot of the Bitcoin to be able to get this revenue number up so that they could beat expectations, even if it's slightly, because it's good to show a beat, especially on a quarter when a lot of analysts were worried about what Tesla was doing. So they managed to do that and use Bitcoin in order to do that, but they still have 25%. They still are proving that Bitcoin has its value model here, and they used it because they had to, not because they wanted to. And if we just look at some things for Bitcoin just to see how the network's doing, we all know Tesla news. It's not really this big of a deal. Maybe people are making a bigger deal because it's Elon Musk and everything, but it really doesn't matter. And when you look at Bitcoin network, already transferred $17.78 trillion this year, smashing the records, all-time high for the network usage. And you can see it's just been up and to the right constantly. 2017 fell down. So this is a little bit of a anomaly, something changing here from at least the last bull market, where 2017 was the bull market. The next year and the following year it fell, the usage of the network fell. But this year we know the bull market started here, continued 2021, and in 2022 was really the bear market, kind of falling into these prices, and yet the network is still being used way more than it was during either of these two bull markets, and it's not a downturn. So again, could be pointing to the Bitcoin network being adopted, being used, and everything moving forward with Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what the price is doing. People know Bitcoin now. They want Bitcoin. So it doesn't matter that the price goes down. It doesn't mean people stop wanting or stop using Bitcoin. You can kind of see this in charts like this, where it's entities with 0.1 to 1 Bitcoin are accumulating like never before. You can see that's what this pink line is. So this gray line is Bitcoin price. The pink line is the people between 0.1 and 1 Bitcoin buying Bitcoin. You can see this skyrocket on this downward move in price, and they're buying like never before. So the plebs, what everyone calls them, people with lower amounts of Bitcoin, are buying like crazy, stacking Bitcoin, and it's the larger entities that are selling Bitcoin or becoming forced sellers. So this is pretty good to see people coming in and wanting Bitcoin. The buy from like 17K when it dipped down there, and the liquidity for people who wanted to buy Bitcoin and putting it back up to 20K, and we saw the battles there, and now we're at 23K. It looks pretty good. It looks like a market with a lot of people who wanted to get in Bitcoin when it fell down, and when it fell down, massive buying hit, and the price is going up and reflecting that. And we can just end it looking at the Bitcoin price chart, just because right here a lot of talks are because there's nothing really between right here where we are and like 28K, 29K. A lot of people think we'd have a large kind of fast move up to this line to 28, 29,000, just like we had a fast move down. We broke this up now and are in this channel, so we could have a pretty quick move up to 28,000 to relatively fast than a lot of people might even expect, which would be a good thing. Good to see like Bitcoin going forward, not crumbling anymore. And I mean, it just feels better that Bitcoin is not around the 20K level, the last bull market's all-time high, because breaking below that every time we did it was a problem, because it's not done before in Bitcoin's history, maybe once before for a short period of time. But staying away from that all-time high and bringing the prices up and seeing it, getting up here to 23, 24, and seeing it just continue moving up is a good thing. So Tesla sold $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. They have paper hands, not the diamond hands that Tesla once said that they had. Still a good thing to prove that Bitcoin can be used as a store of value and a balance sheet item, because you don't have to worry about selling it and causing a downward move in the price. Even in this bear market, Tesla was able to sell $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and not plunge the price down ridiculous amounts. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in my next video.